Okay, so
Restart.
Go ahead.
Reset the video.
No.
Hatchamania.
Okay, 8.5 part 2. So then they throw ones at you that have negatives. So you have to think of a number, then when multiplied together will get you 6, but when added together will get you a -5. Okay? So when on multiplication, when they're the same sign, your answer is positive when multiplied, right? But when added together, it will be negative. So if this is positive, your signs are going to be the same. I'll tell you that right now. So if this is positive, these signs in here will be the same. This one right here is telling you what the sign will be. So these are both going to be minus. Okay? Now, we can use our X method. Remember, multiplication up here and addition here. So I need numbers that multiply to 6 but add up to -5. So when multiplied together, -2 and -3 will get 6, but when added together, they get -5. So I have x minus 2, x minus 3. So if these are minus, it doesn't go minus, minus. That could get confusing, I see, but x minus 2. So this minus is this minus here. You don't double it up. Make sense? Okay. Now, here, if this sign is negative, that means you're going to have one positive or one plus and one negative. The signs will not be the same. Because when the signs are the same, when multiplied together to get that last term, this would be positive, correct? Okay. So if I have a minus or a negative back here, one's plus, one's negative. Now, think about it. If you have a positive and a negative number, let's say -5 and +2. If I have -5 and +2, when I add them together, the bigger absolute value stays, the sign stays that one, right? Correct? So if I had -5 and added to 2, it's 3, but it stays negative, correct? If I'm combining these or adding these, that would be a -3. So if this here is plus, the bigger absolute value number is going to be plus or positive. What that means is, and again, I can go to my x and I can show that this is multiplication. This, you guys are supposed to tell me when I'm off my sheet. Okay, so negative multiplied together to get to -10, added together to get to 3. -5 times 2 will multiply together to get to -10, correct? But when added together, they will not make 3. But 5 and -2 will add together to get to +3. Now, it's just once you get more and more comfortable with factoring, you'll say, well, if I see a negative here, I know that these have to be different. And if I see a plus here, I know that the bigger absolute value is going to be positive. Because when added together, it has to have a positive number. So 5, it would be x plus 5. Oh, y, yeah, y. Y minus 2. Remembering not to double up the negative.
Does it matter if you put
Okay, the biggest thing is, when doing these, until you get comfortable with them, you might just have to do factors of 20 that add up to -9 and go and write down the factors of 20. So factors of 20 would be 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, And that's it, right? Okay. Remembering that the signs have to be the same. Could they be -4 and -5? Yes. Now I can go back and remember that if this is a positive, these signs are the same, this is the sign that it's going to be. It's going to be the minus. And is -4 and -5 combined together to get -9? Yes. So it's x minus 4 and x minus 5. There's a few. Okay, we're going to just keep going through these until the end of the period, and then you guys can work on your homework tomorrow. Okay? So, factors of -24. So if it's a negative here, one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. So I actually personally like the table method where I write down, so 2 and 12 added together, will that get me 2? No. What about 4 and 6? Possibly. But when added together, one of them has to be negative. So what about -4 and +6 added together? Gets me a positive 2. So x plus 6 and x minus 4. Okay? So I'm doing this a little differently than using the X method, which is okay. I like to just list them and then put them in. So multiplied together, does it get me -24? Yes. When added together, does it get me +2? Yes. Okay? One's positive, one's negative. So factors of 21, -21. 3 and 7, when added together, do they get me 4? Well, technically, one of them has to be negative, right? -3. So x minus 3 and x, y. If you guys ever change up the variable, don't worry, it's not going to be wrong. Not important. Okay? Don't have much time, so I'm going to keep going. Factors of 27. 9 and 3. When added together, do they get me 12? So x plus 9, x plus 3. Now, can I check my work on any of this? Yes. How? Foil. Oh, this one is supposed to be squared, guys. This x is supposed to be squared because we're working with trinomials. If this wasn't squared, you would not have to factor it. I mean, necessarily. It depends on what they're asking you to do, but okay. Yes, I can FOIL first, outside, inside, last. And when you can check your work with all of these, and they should get back to this trinomial here. Okay? Not a lot of time, so let's keep going. -27, remember, if this is negative, one of yours is going to be a plus and one is going to be a minus. Shush! So -27, so 9 and 3 multiplied together, but one needs to be negative, so the 3. So x, m plus 9, m minus 3. Oh, I didn't even see the n. Whoopsie. Okay, so n squared, so what does that mean? So m, and then n, and n. Because n times n. Right? So if you have an n squared here, it's just going to be added on here. So m, let me rewrite this, m plus 9n, m minus 3n. Yeah. Okay. Factors of 8. Okay, so 4, if they're negative, negative 4 and negative 2, when you combine them together, do they get negative 6? Yes. When multiplied together, do they get 8? Yes. So y minus 4, y minus 2. Okay, so you might get to a number that, yeah, it works for one of them, but it doesn't work for this one. You have to make sure that they work for both of them. Okay? Negative 36, so one's positive, one's negative. So 12 times 4. No, 12 times 3. Sorry, guys. But not negative 12 because it's a positive 9. So it would be x plus whatever. 12 and minus 3.
I can buy stairs.